Hello, bronies! I have a new episode of the old 52, and these are #1 issues of old defunct series, and I'm just pulling them out of the back issue bins and revealing them one more time. And yeah, this was pretty much inspired by the new 52, blah blah blah. Anyway, this episode involves 1990's Ghost Rider #1 by Howard Mackie. And Javier Salters is the artist. And they kind of made a big production thing out of this issue. For instance, like, it has kind of an extra title page here. And there's even some quotes on, this mainly blacked out page. Where it reads, Revenge proves its only executioner, John Ford. I am the spirit of vengeance. Nothing will stop me from inflicting pain on those who have inflicted it on innocent beings. Ghost Rider. So yeah, it's quotes from John Ford and Ghost Rider. And let's see, our story actually is a reboot of sorts. Now this has nothing to do with the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider from a few years prior. Whose series ended sometime in the early 80s, I think, early to mid-80s. And it takes place in New York City instead of, the out west where the series normally took place. And also kind of takes place in the Cypress area. The Cypress Hills Cemetery is the opening scene. Now, also an interesting thing is not only is the host body different, Danny Ketch, but the Ghost Rider himself is a different thing. Not the demon of vengeance, Zarathos, from the old series. This Ghost Rider is a mystery character himself, where we don't know his origin. He doesn't seem to act like Zarathos, and he seems pretty hell-bent on his main objective, is to protect the innocent and avenge their blood when they're attacked. This issue starts out with Danny Ketch and his sister Barb, who inadvertently encounter a deal that's going on between the forces of Death Watch and the Kingpin. And Death Watch is the main villain for the first 20-30 issues, actually. And this was his big debut in the Marvel Universe. He is the red-faced ninja guy here, although he's not really that ninja-ish. And, well, they're all fighting for this MacGuffin in the briefcase here. Turns out to be canisters of something dangerous. Well, anyway, a whole bunch of people get shot, including Danny's sister Barb, who actually gets shot with an arrow, of all things. While they're trying to escape, Danny discovers this motorcycle just sitting around, and when he touches the gas cap, boom! Everything explodes around him, and he turns into Ghost Rider, right here, carrying Barb away, and he beats the shit out of the Kingpin's men and Death Watch's men, and then the cops come, and of course the old Marvel standard where the cops kind of attack Ghost Rider, and he beats the shit out of them after leaving Barb with them and telling them to get her medical attention immediately. Then a chase ensues, which is pretty exciting, I have to say. Saltier's, I remember in interviews he talked about how his big influence in this book on how to do it was, of all things, Akira. And you can actually definitely see in pages like this the really high-speed, fast-paced action he puts in this series, as well as some of just kind of the layouts, the way it works out. Let's see, here we go, and we discover there's canisters in this thing that looks kind of dangerous. Meanwhile, we have another fight between the Death Watch guys and the Kingpin's guys. They're all trying to get this girl who knows everything, and then of course that brings Ghost Rider back into action. Danny's just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. He's got problem enough with his sister in the hospital near death, and he keeps turning into this thing, but he can't resist it. He can't keep that motorcycle away. He feels like he needs to keep it. He's obviously tempted by the power, or he seems to be bonded and can't really get away from it. He's not sure just yet. He's not even sure if he's really doing this, or, he keeps going back and forth trying to call it or me or whatever. But this Ghost Rider is rather indestructible, actually. And also, he does seem to care about people. What I liked about this Ghost Rider was he wasn't a savage like the original Ghost Rider. But actually, he became more and more monstrous as the series went on, and Johnny Blaze lost more and more power over that beast. But this thing seems to have kind of a set agenda, and even like brings this person into a hospital, screaming, this boy needs help, get him a doctor. It's like, well, okay, flaming skull person. Then of course, things start over again, and Barb's still in the hospital. Death Watch and Kingpin still don't have their, deadly cargo. And we actually get a kind of difference of reaction, like Kingpin destroys a desk and his guys are scared, and Death Watch just kills one of his guys. I will say, I'm not going to talk much about the rest of the story arc, but I will say the Death Watch did eventually start to bore me, frankly, because he's too evil. I mean, he's really, really cartoonishly evil. He makes like a James Cameron villain seem multi-layered. Really, and also, if you always kill your guys for every little thing, I mean, won't they eventually, like, team up and kill you? I've always had problems with villains who, like, constantly kill over every little mistake. It's like, how about trying to win their loyalty with a little kindness? Well, I am pretty sure someone named Death Watch won't be doing that. Actually, one of his first lines is, let's go back here. Let's see. One of his first lines is, "I am Death Watch. I am your death." It's like, whoa, okay, all right. Anyway, outside of that, the art is fantastic, and Mackey's writing is just, for the most part, really wonderful, and puts together a lot here in a very fast-paced motion. Now, Mark Texeira took over the art on this book not too long after this, actually. I think within 4 or 5 issues, 6 issues or something, he took over as the main artist. And kind of became the main artist on the series, the one that was remembered more. But I frankly like this artist a little bit better. I really enjoyed the Akira influence. That worked very well for this kind of character. It was a very fast-paced book, but still, was able to keep things going on. I loved it. It did bring a little bit of sort of the manga feel into the Marvel universe, and not the stereotypical big eyes kind of like Pokemon, goofy manga stuff. I'm talking about the more realistic kind of stuff that you see in some of the more sophisticated things. I like this one a lot. You should definitely see if you can find it. I don't know if this is traded. I assume it's traded. But if you can't, it's probably not that expensive anymore. There was a time when this Ghost Rider, ruled Marvel. He was pretty much the Deadpool of 1990. Oh, he was all over the place very quickly, actually, I might add. And you can see why if you reread this book. It's very good. Anyway, that's it, so push the button, Lindsay.